Hi, welcome to Behind the Scenes, a sneak peek, raw and rough conversation with someone whose persona you may already know, but haven't gotten up close and personal. This is an edited, uncut, private conversation, and it's always a joy to discover and uncover something new about this person. So let's get started. It's nice to know maybe he is your friend, your family, your loved one, your colleague, someone in LinkedIn or other platforms. Our guest today is someone special, and he is none other than Yathong Lee, and he is a weekend holic, a hiker, a runner, an unlearning enthusiast, and everything more we'll find out later. So let's give a warm virtual applause to Yathong Lee. Hello, Yathong.
Yes, hello. Great to be on your show.
And you're based in Kuala Lumpur, right?
Yes, I am based in Kuala Lumpur. Yes, it's been my home for the last 30 over years.
What
Yeah.
what keeps you busy in Malaysia?
Well, currently we're in a lockdown, so there's nothing much really that keep me busy except in the morning when I get up. It's always 1 hour, 1.5 hours of exercise. Yeah, to keep myself fit. And under this pandemic situation, keeping yourself physically fit builds the immune system and the antibody. So this is what I call it my life insurance to overcome the pandemic. Yes, so that my body is always supporting my life of
That's
keeping it going. So this is what I do, and beyond that, I do some reading in between. And once I try to draft a post for LinkedIn every day, so at least try to do a posting once a day. So it depends on the topic that I find it interesting, or I find the motivation to talk about certain topic. Then I would do a draft and then I will post it. Like today, I talk about the price of success, because yesterday I was watching a video about sportsmen who go into depression after their sporting days are over. So I was intrigued and say, someone who has been trained for ages, for decades, just to win, nothing else but to win, yet after their life is over, they can't seem to win over their mental. So is this the price we are paying for success, that we cannot transition from success and success and success now to a much more mundane life? So something, and I wrote something about it.
I saw that. I lost you again, but let's see how we can get back to each other. You said that health is life insurance. Song, I'm losing you.
Wait, yeah, enjoy the get. Yep, you're losing me, but my connection is good. Yes, my connection is good. But now I think I'm back with you. I can see your screen. I can see you moving. Yes. Just now it was still. Yeah. Okay. So basically that's what I do in every day. Yeah, keeping myself occupied physically and mentally. I think that is what I need for the moment.
Okay.
And the other thing is I'm busy planning now, because likely I'm migrating to Australia after Christmas. Yes, my application for migration to Australia has been approved, and I shall be moving to Australia after Christmas. So I'm planning now, part of what I'm doing now, doing a lot of packing, doing a lot of downsizing, throwing a lot away of stuff that I'm not able to bring to Australia, giving away stuff that to friends whenever they wanted it, and I'm willing to give away. Yep. That's what I do on my day.
What is your work in Australia?
Well, I'm going there just to enjoy my life. I have another. If I'm have a good life, another 25 years of life left in me. So what I'm going to do is just go there, enjoy myself. I'm going to buy a 4-wheel drive and go into the outback, explore Australia, see Australia. But not really going there to do work, but rather going there to really enjoy my retirement. Retiring from work, but going to pick up enjoyment in life.
You said a while ago that your health is your life insurance. Can you give specific things that you do to make sure that your health is your wealth?
Yes, basically, so I do a lot of physical running. Yeah, and at least like when I'm in a lockdown, I'm still doing about 5 kilometers a day. Of course, short of my 10 kilometers a day previously. And I feel that by keeping myself physically active, it built my immune system. And since I started actively running again after recovering from my knee injury, for the last almost 2 years, I haven't had a simple cold, nothing. So it's basically, healthier, much fitter. I reduced my body weight from 86 kilogram to now less than 71 kilogram.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. And I think much more alert and mentally, you find that for me, especially, I feel that mentally I'm much able to concentrate on certain things and much able to capture information much faster. And I think what is interesting is after my exercise and after my daily exercise regime, when I do my flu blood test, the result came out pretty good, very good. And my doctor said that I have the health of a 45-year-old man, although I'm 62 now. So isn't that great?
Wonderful.
That, I'm
awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, awesome. Yeah. 62 years old, still active. And the best thing is all my old jeans, my old clothing that used not to fit me now fit in very well, perfectly. So I don't have to change my wardrobe. Another cost saving for me. Yeah. Awesome.
Did you have to change your diet?
No, I don't change my diet, but I change the timing of my diet. I still eat whatever I want to eat. I still enjoy my food as much as I can. However, I would say I cut down on the portion, so I eat lesser. And the timing is I practice what we call the 16-8 diet plan, which means that for 8 hours in the daytime, I can eat whatever I want to eat, any amount that I want to eat. Then I go on intermittent fasting for the next 16 hours. And during this intermittent fasting, I drink, but I don't eat solid food. So I started to combine my diet pattern and also my daily exercise to bring down my body weight. And I think it's helpful.
How long have you
really
been
helpful.
on your intermittent fasting?
Definitely is over 2 years. Over 2 years. Yes, this intermittent fasting. And I think it is good in the sense that it helps me to detox with intermittent fasting, because and I typically stop eating by 5:30, 6 in the evening, and from 6 in the evening until next morning 9 o'clock onward is basically just water, drinking plain water. And I think that helps to do a lot of detox. Yeah, it allows my body to really work and digest whatever food I've taken in, and I think this is something that is very healthy. Letting the body does its job at its own pace. Yes.
Known to be an unlearning enthusiast. Unlearning, does it mean, Thong, that we were not taught right or we did not learn right? Why do we need to unlearn?
Oh, the word unlearning is basically you are re-educating your mind, I would say. Yes, re-educating our mind, because whatever we learn, because time changes so fast, everything changes so fast. What gets you here today may not get you there tomorrow because of the changes. So you have no choice but to unlearn. Yeah, I always use this metaphor of unlearning. We all buy a new handphone each time. Although the features may be similar, but there are certain things that is new to us. So for the first few days, we always feel with a new phone. We're not getting used to it because the old one is so comfortable, that it's like habit. But we have to unlearn that habit. We have to unlearn using the old phone and learn to use the new phone. So there is this process of unlearning the functionality, the steps of the old phone, and relearning the steps and the function of the new phone. And the moment you get used to it, then you find, hey, heck, the new phone is much better than the old phone. Yeah, it has got more functionality. It's much more pleasant to use. It's just so much more easier, yeah, to use. Yeah, and I think this is one huge part of how unlearning takes place. And I would say another one particular aspect of unlearning that I pick up is I get into this topic called mindfulness. I read the book about mindfulness and I found, hey, this is very interesting. I talk about why if we see change as it is and not how our mind wanted it to be, then we will be able to accept the changes much more easier because we are not fighting with our emotion. So I say, this is also from an unlearning perspective. Yeah. So when in December 2018, I was still flying high in my job, working as a learning consultant, and I've always been impressed that I'm always brilliant, fantastic, the way I conduct training, the way I presented my concept, the way I help to fuse things together, helping people to see the connection from a big picture towards a small picture and small picture towards a big picture. Still was flying high. And then my unit boss just come and talk to me out of the blue and say, hey, would you like to consider an early retirement? I say, when? He said, by June 2019. That is 6 months away. Although my German boss has always wanted me to stay on for at least another year, if not two. So I was thinking, it's a matter of time. If not now, later it will still come. So why not now? And I just accepted it and I tell my boss, okay, good. I will go for my retirement, opt out of my retirement. I said, no problem. And I think I have did the best decision of my life because I give up a paycheck, but I gain a lot in terms of my freedom, in terms of my time to do a lot of things that I wanted to do and I can do now. You see? So yes, I may not have a daily paycheck, a monthly paycheck, but that gives me all the reason to scale down and live a simple life. I mean, at this point of time, when I'm walking into my sunset, why live a complicated, complex life? So I choose to go simple. And I think that keeps me very healthy, very happy. I have no stress because life is just so simple. And every day when I wake up, I know that simple life is ahead of me for the next 1 day. And I just have to enjoy this simple life, do what I want to do. No pressure from anyone, no agenda from anyone. It's all at the spur of the moment thing, spontaneous living. I think this is what life is all about.
Wow.
Because life is so precious, so unpredictable. So I have the freedom to live life on a spontaneous basis. I can't ask for more. Yeah, can't ask for more. So I think this is how unlearning helps me in the sense that I hack my mind, change how I see things, that the mind is still very viable. You just have to change it. I always feel that if you can control your mind, then your mind don't control you. So it's a matter of how we manage and control our own mind. See things from a very different perspective. And I believe every day, our life is changing. It's just a matter of how we see it. I always say, only thing is we don't realize that our life changes every day, because from day to night, it's a change. You have sunlight, you don't need light, but at night you need light because it has changed. It goes into darkness, and the next morning again you change back to sunlight and daylight. So I say life is always constantly changing. Nature is constantly changing, and if nature can change, why can't we change our mind? Why must we be fixated on certain concept that we hold as true? Concept can change, but principle stays constant. I think that is life. It's not so much about the concept, but it's more about the principle. I always say leadership, the concept of leadership in the digital world changes from the concept of leadership in the analog world. But the principle of leadership remains quite constant, of how and why a leader is needed in an organization. Yeah. So the why remains very constant. The what and the how can change. And that can only come when we are willing to unlearn ourselves. And I think the biggest challenge is when you come to about unlearning is success can be an enemy of unlearning. Because when you're so successful, you're just not willing to change. Because I've been successful. My success is here. Why should I change when I'm so successful? So your success could be the roadblock to unlearning. So you have to be humble in order that you're willing to change and unlearn. And I think this is what brought me where I am today, unlearning and learning it from mindfulness. Yep.
Song, is there a part of you that you need to unlearn as you begin to go to Australia?
Well, of course, definitely. In the sense that I have to accept that when I moved to Australia, life is not as easy as what it is here in Malaysia in certain aspect. Yeah, but there are certain aspects that I will gain, but certain aspect I'm going to lose. So here, if I feel that, when I'm hungry at 10 o'clock at night, I just have to start my car, drive to the neighborhood, there's a shop there that I can just order my food and my drink, but I don't have that freedom in Australia. I may be hungry 10:30 at night. The only place I can go is go to a bar and have a drink, but not so much as a neighborhood shop where I can have neighborhood food. So that is something that I have to give away. Yeah. And of course, the other thing is here over the last 20 years, I've been just living with me and my wife and not so much with our kid. So when we moved down to Australia, so, it's really about reaccommodating ourselves to a different set of priority and re-look into life that we have to balance, a new dimension we have to balance. Because when you live with a different set of generation, different set of thinking, there's a lot of unlearning that I have to do. Although they are my kids, but still, we have this generation gap. We have this different set of values that we are looking at. So again, there's a lot of, I would say, some unlearning for me to do, and on top of that, I'm on the line. I cannot. I'll call you when I'm done. Okay. Sorry. So let me. So there would be unlearning in terms of values. Yeah, because we somehow has got this generation gap. Yeah, and I think I have to respect. I have to learn to respect that they have the life of their own. May be their father, but still, that is this mutual respect that we need to have. That they have their own life. How they build their life is their own to build. I no longer have a say and say, hey, you should do it this way. This is how it should be done. This is where. Yes, I would like to maintain some Christian values, tradition, but still, at the end of the day, I can't force it down to them. So again, now it's talking about, trying to accommodate in a mutual sense and make the best out of the situation. More so when I have my girl is in a mixed marriage. She has an Aussie husband. So again, a lot of adjustment needs to be done on both sides. He has to unlearn having an Asian parent-in-law now coming to Australia to live among them, and me has to say, now it's no longer just go there for a visit. I mean, when we go there for a visit for 3 to 4 weeks, it's easy to accommodate, because it's just a short term. But when you are there for a long term, we have to see things from a very much different perspective. He has to take into more consideration of each other's perspective, feeling of things, and see how we should move on. So again, a lot of unlearning to do from a cultural perspective. Yeah. And I think the other thing that we have to look at is the relationship between father and children are no longer what it is, in the good old days. So it is really like seeing it as equal. We are now more equal rather than, there is this status that I'm the father, you're my children. So, I know best. You just have to follow what I say. Now, I think that those days are gone. So now, we are all equally, so it's more of having this discussion and work out co-creation, I would say, of whatever decision that affects the family, rather than I call the shot. So that would be some form of unlearning on my side. Yep.
So, what will happen if...
Interesting, but looking forward to it. Yes.
What will happen if man in general does not unlearn?
Well, when your mind doesn't want to unlearn, it's just like when you say, are you coachable or not? In a coaching situation, if you're not coachable, nothing can be done unless you are willing to be coached. And when you are coachable, you're changing your mindset. So it's unlearning, because that critical question asked by your coach trigger, look at things from a very different angle, from a very different perspective. So that is also unlearning now. In a world of change, when you are not willing to unlearn, you let change take over you. There is no other ways. There is no other choice. Change or be changed. And by the time you are being forced to change, you still have to unlearn. But now the thing is, you are not on top of the curve. You're at the bottom of the curve. So you have to carry those emotional resistance to change. And that makes life much harder, more stressful, because you are fighting your own emotion, because that emotion is triggered by your mind not willing to unlearn, because you are so fixated on this certain thing that this is the only way, and the only way is this way. While the world has changed, and if you look at it today, when we get out of the house, you just must have a handphone, because this is how you do contact tracing, and everywhere you go, you have to scan yourself, and you have to leave a footprint everywhere you go. People know where you are at every minute of the day, that you are here, you are there. You're not traceable. But then again, that's life. If you're not willing to do that, then you are not in sync with modern days. You can't be in sync with time. You have to do it willingly. Otherwise, it's just forced onto you. And then that is where you find that you face a lot of resistance. So you have a lot of inner conflict, because your mind is not in sync with the changes going on in the external world. Yeah, that is how I see it. So the mind would have to change and unlearn. Ultimately, is either you do it voluntarily or you're being forced to do it, because change impact life. You have no choice but forced. And it's like a lot of us, we say, wow, we don't belong to the digital era. Digital is not for us. There are a lot of things that we don't understand about digital world. But then again, so much a part of our life that, as a user of the digital world, there are a lot of unlearning, a lot of things that you have to learn. There's no choice, because that's the only way you can complement socialization with face-to-face socialization. The world now is shrinking because of technology, and the only way you can maximize and leverage on technology and live the world is unlearning. Change your mindset. Yes, that's how I view it.
Let me ask you, Thong, when is it okay to be busy? When is it okay to be lazy?
Interesting question. When is it okay to be lazy? When is it okay to be busy? Now, I always look at it is when you there must, if you are not having a good outcome out of that busyness, then you don't have value in that business. If you look at the bees are busy every day, collecting nectar, coming back to the nest and throw it out the nectar so that the others can build and create the honey out of the nectar from the flower. Bees are busy. They fly, they look for nectar, all over the nature. They're very busy. That's why people say you're busy as a bee. Yet, at the end of the day, the bee, their busyness, there is an outcome of it. They have honey. And that is where the nutrition is. Likewise for us, when we are busy, is there an objective of being busy? Or you're certainly just running, routine and seem to be busy. And then you are just wasting, because every minute that we have on this earth is our life. Time is our life. That's how it's being defined. So when you are busy with life, it must have come. I think like now, we're going to have this 1 hour of being busy and keeping everything away from it. At the end of this 1.5 hours, we have a solid outcome that we get to know each other. We understand each other. There is this exchanges of conversation. That is a healthy business, because there is a very positive outcome out of this being busy. And I think this is when you feel that, worthwhile to spend time being busy. Is, do I get a value out of it or not? If I don't get a value out of it, then why be busy? Might as well be lazy. Because when you are lazy, you allow your body to recuperate. You allow your body to go back to the balance of optimization, because our body, to be healthy, we need to balance our body between, acidic and alkaline and things like that. So when you are at the ultimate resting situation, you find also that your heartbeat is at its optimum and you're not overworking your heart. Now, when you have this sudden burst of energy, adrenaline to get busy, when it has a positive outcome, fantastic. At least it compensates for working out on your heart. It's just like I do my exercise for 1.5 hours, getting myself busy, sweating it out. But I know I have a good outcome out of it. So that is why being busyness, is really about, do we have the outcome? Can I quantify this outcome as value adding to life? If it is really adding value to life, why not? I would spend time on it. But it is not value just like I have to prove someone wrong, I have to prove someone right, because we have difference in concept. Then to me, that is not worthwhile spending time on it, because the reality is your truth and my truth are very different because of our experience. The only truth that we can really say is a truth that we cannot deny, we cannot argue, is every minute that we don't do anything, get lost. So this is the only fact that we can agree. But beyond that, there are a lot of things we cannot agree. And for me to prove that you are wrong, I'm right, you're just wasting time. And I don't want to spend time being busy trying to prove that you're right, that I'm wrong, head I win, tail you lose. What's that for? There's much more bigger thing in life. So I say, I agree to disagree. If you think you're right, you're right. If you think you're wrong. Up to you. It doesn't matter. So I don't want to waste time, proving someone is right, someone is wrong, this theory is right, this theory is wrong. No. I think the world is so dynamic that, everything can fit into the world. It's up to us how we accept it and rationalize it. Yep. And on laziness, I am advocate of productive laziness. Always feel good to be lazy, because and being lazy is something that is so fruitful, because you can really extract a lot of things from being lazy. I mean, you allow your mind to sink in, you allow your mind to recollect a lot of things, and you allow breathing to come down, and then you allow your heart to be beating at its optimum. You allow your pulse to regulate itself, and all this, is very much the essence of meditation, living life at a very normal, easy pace. And this is what laziness is all about. Yeah, living life at a very optimal pace. And this is what laziness is all about. It doesn't mean that, being lazy, you're not doing anything, because let's face the fact, our mind doesn't stop. The day our mind stops, the day we are dead. So even though I'm not doing anything, but my mind is still working. It's the matter of, now that I'm not doing anything, I'm lazy, I'm able to do higher order thinking. When I'm too busy without really having a good outcome, I'm just doing all the mundane thinking. I'm not doing a higher order thinking. And such waste. When your mind is so capable of higher order thinking, and why are we not doing it? The only way we can do it is be lazy, give that time to the mind to work on the higher order thinking. So that is, to me, the two definitions of being, when to be busy and when to be lazy.
Okay, good. Tong, before the pandemic, man worldwide is busy, 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 busy. Do you think that since the pandemic started, because of work from home and lockdown and quarantine and everything, you think man has slowed down a bit, or he hasn't learned?
Running from one zone about business, so they are running from Zoom meeting to the next, and what have they learned? What have they learned? Because of at the very beginning of the, where the world really come to a standstill, you look at, how the nature responds. The river becomes so much more cleaner, the air becomes so much more fresh, and people really lock in without nothing much to do but enjoy seeing, the world, nature becoming better. But today, you see, we are still all very busy, except that the locality changed. Instead of being in the office, now is at home. And instead of having this face-to-face business, now we are busy in front of a computer. So there isn't really a huge paradigm shift that this lockdown, this pandemic, is time for us to really rescale our life, I call it, to scale down our life to make it more, because sometimes you need less for more, especially when you talk about quality of outcome. You need less for more, not more for more. Yes, because for quality, for thinking about the future, for looking into the tomorrow, you need higher order thinking. And when you need higher order thinking, you need to do less for more. You need to do less for more. So it's a matter of pacing yourself out so that mentally you are much more with your own internal rhythm, and that is where you can get more from less. I look at adults so that we have understood what is less for more. We are still running around in circles trying to achieve more, thinking that the more we put in, the more we can get out of it, without realizing that, the law of diminishing return always kick in. That is up to a certain stage that the more you put in, the less you get out of it, So why not relook at the whole thing and say, let's do less with more. Yeah. And I think when we do less for more, we are also giving service to the earth in trying to not destroy too much of our earth by doing less for more. Yeah. So holistically, I would advocate for less for more. Yeah. So that we don't destroy our earth, because the only thing that you can do less for more is when you scale down on your greed. Human greed is what is destroying our earth. So when we can scale down on our human greed by doing less for more, because when we do more for more, it's only driven by our ego, by our greed, nothing else. So if we can scale down on that, then we can do more for less.
Wow.
Less for more, sorry. Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
Less for more, because we are still on more for more. So
Yes, precisely.
let's play a little game, Tong.
Sure. Good.
I'll give a
By the way, I enjoy our conversation so much.
Oh yeah.
I said I enjoy our conversation so much.
Yes. We will have another one when you're in Australia.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll give you a pair of words. Just choose which
Okay.
one you prefer, and you can briefly explain why you prefer that one.
Okay.
Okay. Sun or moon?
Moon.
Why?
Why? Yeah. Because you only appreciate light in darkness. So when you have the moon in darkness, you appreciate the sun.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Music or art?
Music or art? I go for art. Because my MBTI, I am intuitive person. So I see things beyond what is in front of me. So I like to use art to trigger my imagination. So I imagine more from visual rather than from my audio. So this is where art helped me to look at things much more creatively. So I would say art is a medium that helped me to be creative rather than music.
Okay. If you were at a zoo, which would you look at longer? The giraffe or the koala bear?
Koala bear. I
Why?
would look at it much longer. Why? Because they are lovely, very cuddable animal, and it gives me this feeling of, that they are so lovely that you just wish that you can cuddle them, hug them. And I think this is where you talk about abundance. When you can hug, you can give. So I look at it from a perspective of having this abundance. When I see this koala, they are so cute that, oh wow, how nice if I can just cuddle them, hug them, and whatever problem I have will be gone. Whereas a giraffe, I can't hug a giraffe. It's just too huge, you know. Whereas a koala, it can really drive, my problem away, because they are so lovely that when I hug them, I'm in a very totally different world. That, my problem is being taken care of by the koala.
Wow. So you like the moon, you like art, and you like the koala bear. Maybe you can write a post on that soon.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sure, definitely.
Great. Before we go, can you say a few words, message to all your fans, friends, followers, colleagues, anyone tuning in to this program?
Sure. I would say my message is the power of unlearning. There is nothing greater than able to unlearn yourself constantly. Because when you are able to unlearn, you are deconstructing yourself and reconstructing your new self. So every day you find that you are able to recreate something for yourself. Your mindset, the way you think about things, the way you look at things comes from a lot of unlearning. And you can only go on a journey of discovery, a journey of experiment when you're willing to unlearn. Because if you are not willing to unlearn, you are not willing to experiment, you're not willing to explore, you're not willing to discover, because you are fixated on certain things. So it's only through unlearning that you will live a life of adventure. So always go for unlearning, the power of unlearning. It brings a huge measure of joy in life when you are able to unlearn. Yes.
Thank you for that message, Thong. Ladies and gentlemen,
Welcome. My pleasure.
for now, this is our episode with Yathong Lee. Let's give another warm virtual applause to Yathong for his time, his wisdom, his energy, his stories about Malaysia, Australia, and her daughter who has a mixed marriage, and how to move back and forth and unlearn and relearn. And so interesting. Thank you for your time, Yathong, and till next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
You
Thank you.